A wealthy man walked into a restaurant, offering cash to homeless people if they'd humiliate themselves. Everyone watched in horror, as desperate people degraded themselves for money while he laughed. Then one waitress did something that stopped his cruel game and exposed him completely. The Friday evening crowd filled Riverside Bistro with the usual mix of professionals unwinding, after work and couples enjoying dinner dates. The atmosphere humming with conversation and clinking glasses. Behind the polished mahogany bar, 26-year-old Keisha Williams wiped down surfaces while keeping an eye on her tables, working her third double shift that week to cover her younger brother's college tuition. She'd seen plenty of wealthy customers during her 5 years waiting tables, had learned to read the difference between people who treated service workers with respect and those who viewed them as entertainment. But nothing prepared her for what walked through the door that evening. A man whose cruelty would test her courage and whose humiliation would become the most satisfying moment of her career. Marcus Blackwood entered like he owned the place, his $1,000 suit and Rolex announcing wealth before he opened his mouth. He seated himself at the bar, ordered expensive scotch, and immediately started what he apparently considered entertainment. He pulled out his wallet, flashing $100 bills while looking toward the restaurant's front, where a homeless man stood outside, visible through the glass doors. Keisha watched with growing unease as Marcus gestured to the security guard, had him bring the homeless man inside, then made his proposal loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "I'll give you $200 if you get on your hands and knees and bark like a dog for 2 minutes. The homeless man's face showed the internal war between dignity and desperation. His torn jacket and worn shoes, evidence of genuine need. Other customers looked uncomfortable but said nothing, some turning away to avoid witnessing what was about to happen. The homeless man, whose name was Robert, slowly lowered himself to the ground and began barking, while Marcus recorded on his phone, laughing loudly and making commentary. Keisha felt rage building in her chest, watching this degrading display, but what happened next made her snap. Marcus called in another homeless person from outside, a woman this time, offering her money to dance provocatively while he threw dollar bills at her like she was entertainment in a strip club. The woman, clearly humiliated but desperately needing money, began swaying awkwardly, while Marcus and a few of his business associates who joined him laughed and made crude comments. Keisha made her decision. She walked over to Marcus, her professional smile replaced by cold fury. "Sir, I need you to stop this immediately." Marcus looked at her with amused contempt. "Excuse me? I'm paying these people. They're choosing to do this. Mind your business and bring me another drink." Keisha's voice stayed steady but carried steel. "You're exploiting desperate people for entertainment. That's not acceptable in this establishment. Either stop treating human beings like circus animals or leave." Marcus's face darkened with anger. "Do you know who I am? I could buy this restaurant. Get me your manager now." Keisha didn't back down. "I know exactly who you are, Mr. Blackwood. You're Marcus Blackwood, CEO of Blackwood Investments. And I also know that 6 months ago, you were photographed at a charity gala, claiming you care about homelessness and poverty. Yet here you are, humiliating the exact people you claim to want to help." She pulled out her phone. "I've been recording this entire interaction. Your treatment of Robert and this woman, your cruel game, everything. I'm giving you 2 choices. You can apologize to these people, compensate them properly without requiring degradation, and leave quietly. Or I can post this video on every social media platform, tagging your company, and every news outlet in the city. Your reputation will be destroyed by tomorrow morning." Marcus's face cycled through shock, rage, and finally calculation as he realized this waitress held genuine power over him in this moment. The nearby customers had their phones out now too, several recording his reaction, the viral moment already in motion whether he cooperated or not. His business associates looked uncomfortable, distancing themselves physically from their boss as his behavior was exposed. Marcus tried to intimidate. "You're threatening me? I'll sue you. I'll have you fired. I'll ruin you." Keisha remained calm. "Sue me for what? Recording someone in a public business? Good luck. And I already quit. I won't work anywhere that allows customers to dehumanize people for entertainment. But the video is happening regardless. You have 30 seconds to decide which version of this story goes viral." The manager arrived, Having been alerted by other staff, and after a whispered conversation where Keisha showed him the recording, he made his own decision. "Mr. Blackwood, you're no longer welcome here. Please settle your bill and leave." Marcus realized he'd lost, that his wealth couldn't protect him from accountability when witnesses and video evidence existed. He threw $500 on the bar, muttered something about everyone being too sensitive, and left quickly while customers watched silently. But Keisha wasn't done. She approached Robert and the woman, both still standing uncertainly near the entrance. She handed them each $200 from her own tips. "This is yours without conditions. No degradation required. You're human beings who deserve dignity." The video went viral exactly as Keisha predicted. By Saturday morning, Marcus Blackwood was trending on social media for all the wrong reasons. News outlets picked up the story of the wealthy CEO humiliating homeless people, while a brave waitress stood up to him. Marcus's company's stock dropped. Board members called emergency meetings. Charities returned his donations publicly, not wanting association with his cruelty. His carefully cultivated image as a philanthropist shattered in less than 24 hours because someone finally held him accountable for behavior wealth had protected too long. Keisha became an unexpected hero, interviewed by local news, offered jobs at better establishments, and contacted by advocacy groups fighting homelessness. She used her platform to raise awareness about how society treats vulnerable populations, about the difference between charity that uplifts and cruelty disguised as generosity. Marcus issued a public apology, written by lawyers and PR professionals, but the damage was permanent. He resigned from his CEO position within a month, his reputation never recovering, his name forever associated with the viral video of him being called out by a waitress who refused to stay silent. Keisha never regretted her choice, despite temporarily losing income by quitting. Within a week, she had a better job at a restaurant that valued employees who stood up for what was right. Robert and the woman from that night connected with social services through attention the video generated, both eventually finding housing and support. And Marcus Blackwood learned that wealth doesn't protect you from consequences when someone brave enough refuses to enable your cruelty, when they choose human dignity over keeping their job, when they understand that some moments require courage, regardless of personal cost.